Welcome back to the show, everybody, and welcome back to a St. Patrick's Day Pro Wrestling Weekly. Before we start, I'd like to wish everyone out there a happy St. Patrick's Day. You can see by the graphic there, the Irish OGs of WWE are all in there in the graphic. Not necessarily all friends anymore, but however we get around that one. But yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone out there. And of course, we weren't on Sunday and stuff like that, so also a belated happy Mother's Day as well to all the mammies out there who do an absolute stellar job. You can see the panel is assembled. The Avengers are here. Some would say the Four Horsemen, but we'll call it the Avengers for the moment. We are going to be taking a look at Raw. We are going to be taking a look at how WrestleMania is shaping up. We've got a listing there of the matches and also maybe some ideas of what might come out of it as well. Myself and Dave will somewhat take you through AEW Revolution and our thoughts on that. Dave has my full gospel on that.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
We're also going to be, I did up a little slide that I seen on where people are now, the main eventers are now, and where they were 10 years ago. Interesting slide. Interesting slide.
I like that. I like that.
I have a little prediction slide that I stole, that I stole, that I didn't make it myself, that I sent into the group as well. We're going to be talking about a lot of discussions at the moment between Saudi and WWE about what's going to happen for these three big shows coming up, including WrestleMania and Saudi as well, and what's going to happen with everything that's going on in the area at the moment. We will be talking about AEW Revolution. Keith wanted us to have a chat about managers. This week, it was a topic that Keith brought up, managers and the impact that they had on the business and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be a nice little discussion thing for us. And also the news has reached us as well that the blackout is lifted in relation to WrestleMania in Vegas, that bars and venues and all are going to be able to show WrestleMania, which I think was the right thing to do. And I knew they'd come back on it. Also, a lot of talk at the moment going around as well that there's a bit of tension between Netflix and WWE that might not be all rosy in the garden, and that there may be thoughts of a buying out of the contract to part ways. So let's see what happens. After 2 years in, 8 years to go, it'll be big bucks. But we'll see what happens. In the chat, Anto's in there as always. How are you, Anto? Hope you are good, my friend, enjoying your Paddy's Day. And one of the OGs, Dara, of course, is in there as well. Big up there. Hope you were good. Sure. The nation of Wrestle Nation. I like that. Very nice. Very, very nice. Right, so let's begin with, I suppose we should begin with Raw, shouldn't we? Yeah, it's where we normally begin, don't we?
We should. It's fresh in our heads.
Yeah. Keith, take us away on Raw.
I thought it was an okay Raw, to be honest with you.
There's the quote.
Well, I thought it was an okay Raw, to be honest. The start of it, actually, I looked back at the start of it. I actually thought it was a good opener. I love the way Paul Heyman looked, to be honest with you. Like, he just looked like he was on 12 rounds in the pub somewhere and just coming out was just hilarious looking. Really good indication with him and Seth Rollins. And then it's kind of predictable after that with Brock Lesnar coming out. And then Obafemi, at least we got indication now with Obafemi and Brock that they're going to have a match together, which is good. We didn't have to have that thing that we're talking about if it's going to be like an open challenge for a couple of weeks. I actually enjoyed the AJ Lee and Bailey match. I thought that was a really, really good match. I liked what they did with Stephanie Fakura this week. It was a good build up for it. I wasn't really mad about the ending of Raw, guys, to be quite honest with you. I thought it felt a bit flat, personally. I did look up online to see that they were supposed to have, Larry the dog in one of the segments. It just felt like, I thought it would be a bit more personal, to be honest with you, if they put that in, like what they did with CM Punk a few weeks ago. That's just my opinion anyways. I'm surprised we didn't get Gunther this week, so I don't know what's going on there with Gunther, really, or if they have any plans for him this week. What other matches were there? The Penta and Dragon Lee match was okay, was good. But yeah, overall, like, I didn't really care about the Natty thing. I kind of zoned out about that, to be honest. But it was an okay Raw this week. It wasn't really great, to be honest. What do you guys think?
Dave?
Yeah, I felt like they were going through the motions this week. Now, obviously, with this week, there was a lot of parts that you could be quite excited about. I thought the beginning with Heyman and Brock coming out, Seth. I mean, yeah, look, there was no need for Brock to go through like 12, black hoodie men. Just get rid of them. We know Seth's back. What's the point? Get rid of them. Seth just needs to come out and beat Seth Rollins again. None of this black hoodie crap. I thought, I was quite shocked, and I got onto Niall straight away when he said a couple of weeks ago that there's no way Brock's putting over Femi over. There's no way anyone's losing at WrestleMania. Fair play to Brock. He put Oba over big time. I don't care if he instructed him what to do. Yeah,
I did come back though. I did come back and say that doesn't mean he's going to do it at WrestleMania. Let's not get it twisted here now.
No, that's fair.
There's 5 weeks nearly to WrestleMania. There's a long way to go before we get to that point.
Put him over though. He did put him over. Look, I know I hate when I can hear people doing stuff, but respect to Brock for doing that, because we all know Brock. He doesn't do it easy. Doesn't do it lightly. So to see him put Oba over the way he did with that fucking powerbomb was immense. El Grande versus El Grande, right? So the original has been defeated. Nobody gives a bollocks. Get it off the card. Scrap it. Nobody cares. AJ Lee and Bailey was quite pissed off that this was just another storyline enhancement match, to be honest with you. There was nothing really.
I still enjoyed the match though. That was good.
Yeah, it was all right. It was just, see, it ruins it for me when it doesn't amount or mean anything. Sean the Sheep Nile. Penta Dragon Lee, decent, quite enjoyed it, but it just felt like we were going through the motions with Raw this week. It just felt like it had a flow, but it wasn't as streamlined as previous weeks have been, where we enjoyed pretty much the whole lot of Raw. I did enjoy the backstage segment when Bailey was chatting to Lyra. I did enjoy the little thing in the background where they had the Vision speaking to Maxine. Just behind that interview that was happening, I thought, okay, what's happening here? Like, what are they talking Maxine into joining the Vision?
And they did it really well as well. Did you see the way they just kind of snuck off when they realized they were on camera? It was really cool. Really cool.
It's things like
especially
that.
Austin too.
Yeah, I quite like that, because I love when they sneak little bits and pieces in on Raw like that. They've been doing it for a while. Stephanie Vicker, again, this match I really loved because it had that double switch about it, where Stephanie came out on top, still champion, still looking strong, but Raquel came out looking really strong once again. So it was a really good way to that match, and I enjoyed how the two of them came out of it. Keith, I know you said you hated the end of Raw. I absolutely love the end of Raw. I need to put a microphone in these two guys' hands and let them talk for 20 minutes to a half. I don't care. They could have the whole 3 hours of Raw, 2.5 hours, whatever it is, with them two with microphones in their hands. I just sit there and listen. It's stellar what these guys do.
Don't get me wrong; they're great what they do.
No,
it's felt a bit flat, to be honest with you.
No, I loved that.
What was flat about it?
We started off great with Punk saying that I'm going to bury you with your dad and all this, and I thought then, like, what you made a good point of Brian saying is that they have to come back and use Larry for this. And
they don't. They already put him in the game. He's not even dead anymore.
No, I never said they should come back and use Larry. You know what I mean? What I said was, Roman Reigns is probably going to piss on Larry's grave next week. That was planned for this week and they pulled it. I read. So I seen those rumors. I don't know, and maybe it was suggested, and so what? If maybe it's coming later on, doesn't matter.
I thought the line where he turned around and said, "Don't talk about me being part time, just like your missus," or something like that. You know what I mean? I thought that was great.
Last week.
Yeah, he's been listening to this podcast, so he went ahead and done it. But I love the psychology of this week. Last week it got personal. This week they brought the psychology into it, especially with Punk not letting Roman leave the ring and Roman bending over and getting back in. I thought he has him in his fucking hand here. And then it kind of flipped on its ear at the end, where Punk came out on top this week, where the Usos came out on top last week. So I really enjoyed the end of Raw. I thought the psychology was really good this week with these promos, because crowd is cheering for them both. They're both getting one over on each other in the promos. The Usos got on top last week. Punk leveled Roman this week. But the end of the promo this week, Roman was coming out where he's talking to the camera. Amazing. I absolutely love the end of Raw.
I love that. Yeah, and what it does is it leaves us with a little bit more, doesn't it? It leaves a little bit of meat on the bone, because we are 4.5 weeks out, or 5 weeks out, let's say, from whatever it is, you know what I mean? So, they got to keep this going now week in, week out. And I think that's why they pushed the button on Oba Femi as well, to give it 4 weeks of a build now where they can kind of tit for tat, attack each other kind of thing and square up and stuff like that, which I thought was cool.
I did
Heyman again.
Heyman's gold.
So I did like the LA Knight backstage stuff with the Usos. I thought that was good as well. Kind of indicating that we're going to have a bloodline reunion.
I did like the way he was all in with Jimmy, and then Jay was kind of like fuck off.
Yeah.
but that's the way it's always been, and that's why I love it. They kept it natural. We will go around the table about. I'll let Bren get onto it because we will go around the table about Randy's phone call and the guesses about who it is. But onto Sir Brennan's bread. Pasta curry is mank. How's it going, sir?
Thanks, Dave. Anyway, 2 seconds. Noel, you were about to say something there. What was it?
No, go on, far away. Go on.
Right. Here's the deal. I agree, which is all about the masked men, the putties guy, right? The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers buddies. Remember they used to go. We did it last week.
Mighty Morphin Black Hoodie Men.
Yeah, they should be gone. However, the opening segment was deadly. I thought it was very well done. I thought Brock having to, and did you see the way he threw some of them around? That was hilarious. It was like you just seen him, and it didn't matter which way they landed. He just threw them around. And I also think, right, when Oba's music hit, the reaction that when they faced up, Rollins just in the corner as if he was a fan. Very well done.
Love it.
But the fact that he just had to go through 12 men, okay, so he was obviously not going to get on top of Obafemi, right? He's just beating up 12 men, so it puts him over a little bit as well. I thought that was very, very good. El Grandes can piss off. I'm done with that. Take Chad Gable's mask off and let Chad Gable go on a rampage through that roster. I want to touch on that. I learned how to pronounce it before I even fight this guy.
Okay, you have trouble with words. It's okay. Okay,
it wouldn't be Pro Wrestling Weekly or SmackDown if I didn't. Natty Neidhart, right? I changed a few little things, but you know what? I'm happy with this. This decisive win should have happened a few weeks ago, and that's it. I do like the direction she's going. I did say on the award show that we did that if she keeps going in that direction, she will be an up and coming next year, which is crazy considering she's doing this about 20 years. Roman Reigns grabbing the camera and looking in and speaking to all of the Samoans. Amazing. Fantastic. It was like, because now we're all saying, well,
it was like a Sean Mac short.
Which to Dave's point indicates he's onto the channel. He knows what it's about. He's onto the channel.
Except he's not on a windy day with headphones on, but we'll get onto that another week.
100%. But the way he spoke, and now everyone's saying, well, you know what? This Samoan's going to show up at WrestleMania. That Samoan's going to show up at WrestleMania. The rumors are endless. AJ Lee and Bailey. Look, I said it last week. I was surprised Bailey won, but then to see her getting beat and let's face it, that segment that you're talking about later on, she's going to end up in a tag team match. A multi-women tag team match. She's going to lose
against the Kabuki Warriors again.
I'll have no hate towards the Kabuki Warriors.
No, we've seen it so many times.
We love the Kabuki Warriors on this podcast. Look, AJ Lee, Bailey deserves better. I feel the same with her as I do the Miz. She deserves better. Penta, absolutely incredible. Love that guy. Him and Dragon Lee.
Can I ask you a question? Are they going to do? Go on, sorry.
2 seconds. I'm on a roll here. No, go on. Ask the question.
A dry roll.
Hey!
Break them out.
Are they going to do an icy challenge now for Mania? It looks like they're heading that direction.
I don't know. However, I don't know. However, look, whatever they do, it's going to be spectacular because that's what Penta is. I will say this about that. There's two things that stuck out. That screw suicide dive through the ropes, one of the best things I've ever seen. The other thing is the Styles Clash now going to become a DDT and a super kick? He just whipped it out as if it was nothing. Bam! Kick out after two. Good up out of that. Paul Heyman, F5. Brilliant. And I'm going to go back to the start. I'm not going to completely...
That needs to be a t-shirt, Bren. FAF5.
100%. I'm not going to go. I'll just go straight to the end. Now, Anto, come on. You're siding with Keith here.
Do you know what I would say in defense of Bren here? I've seen another dimension to Asuka during the promos, and I'm kind of warming to it. I think she's actually very good. I think she's very good. I think she's out there.
She's been great for years.
No, but you know what I mean? We've gone through like 6 months of just roaring and shouting and bullying Carrie and stuff like that. Now it's there's a little bit of that still there. But I think her interaction with the people she's talking to now, she does like like when Sting was that crazy joker in TNA. That kind of level to it now, so and it's kind of nice. I like it. I do like it.
Yep. I can see that. Now, what? Are you winding me up? I'm not Keith. Come here. To be fair, I called him
No, I said sorry, Keith.
All right. 2 more things that I'll say. If LA Knight doesn't end up on WrestleMania, Triple H should be ashamed of himself. LA Knight deserves to be on WrestleMania. Put that man on the card and make him do something and have him do something good. Last thing I'll say is that promo at the end, CM Punk and Reigns were incredible. And do you know what? Do you know the way we complain about part-time Reigns and we complain about part-timers?
Well, you do. I don't.
Hang on. Reigns put that to bed in that promo. I'm a father. I'm in a position where I can go home and spend time with my wife and kids. They're what's important. Are you winding me up? And I was like, yeah, fuck, yeah, that's right. Yeah, anybody has that to say about Reigns, I'll bat he is. Other than that, it ended brilliant, started well, and everything in between was okay. I like Raw. Sorry.
Did anybody think that Braun Breaker was going to be one of those masked men when Brock Lesnar?
No, I said that last week.
Keith, you'll say it on the WrestleMania slide that's coming up. I've already penciled it in, man.
Really? Yeah. I thought it was Braun Breaker as one of those masked men when he came down.
No, did you not like Raw or did you like Raw?
Do you know what it is? I really enjoy. Like, I generally speaking, I enjoyed it, but the problem that I kind of had with it was it still doesn't feel like we're on the road to WrestleMania. It doesn't feel like we're WrestleMania season. Now, listen, there was a lot of star power on this. Stephanie was defending against Raquel with Liv at ringside, which I thought was really, really good.
And Liv's promo was great.
Liv's promo was excellent as well. Yeah. I love the stuff with Punk and Reigns when they both come out. You could see the reaction of the crowd. Absolute megastars, both of them, which is fantastic. Penta and Dragon Lee, you can't complain about that. Absolutely solid and stuff like that. I thought AJ Lee and Bailey was good, but as you said, Bren, to go through and win that kind of match to get there and stuff like that, and then it falls just a little bit flat. She'll probably end up defending it in a 4-way or something like that. The thing that comes out of this as well, with about 4 weeks to go or whatever it is, there is so much talent out on the wind sailing at the moment that has nothing on this at the moment. And even today, when I was putting the slide together for the WrestleMania slide, I was thinking, we barely have enough here for like one night. What's happening here? Like when are we going to knit the rest of this together and stuff like that and all, And that was a real concern for me because, I'm glad they pushed the button on Alba Femi because what it means is, as I said earlier, it gives them time now to build that. And it also gives Lesnar time to, make sure he tests out the credibility of this as well, that it doesn't fall flat on its face like an Omos situation or whatever.
Well, he got rid of his 4 armbands, to be fair to him as well. So he did get rid of, his new ring gear was actually decent. He got rid of the 4 armbands. And all he needs to do now is lose your favorite donut necklace.
Yeah. I mean, but by the time we get to Mania, he'll be like Ron Simmons. It's all good. There's no problem, you know what I mean? Like by the time we get to WrestleMania, he won't even be Ugandan or anything anymore. He'll be like Ron Simmons,
Yeah, and you can hear the crowd noise being piped in so obvious now as well, can't you? Like,
did you think?
Oh man, it was so obvious this week.
If you listen closely enough, there's a cadence to the real noise, compared to the piped in noise.
And at the end, they turn it down like that with the volume.
Yeah. It does. Yeah.
Oh, they caught me hook, line, and sinker then, because I was going to come on here and say, now see, what did I tell you? He's on his way to the top, lads. But if they're doing that, then that's on me.
Fucking piped in massively this week.
This is why we always say, be careful, tread carefully. But Anto, we know where that's leading to, the Carrie stuff. It's the bully storyline, Carrie in that match at WrestleMania, whatever match it comes out of, Kairi Sane will be the one who will come out of that looking $1 million. And that's why they're building it that way, you know.
No, we all know she can do it. We all know she's a phenomenal star. When she was 100%. The pirate gimmick in NXT, it was so good. So
can I ask though, why was Io Sky coming out of that Stephanie match for? What was the reason for that?
Just as a save.
Well, whatever about her coming out for the match, what Raquel did was insane. Straight across that announcer's desk.
She Braun breaking her.
2 stone.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Holy
and then after that, she wasn't seen again or featured again.
I have a feeling they don't know what to do with Io now. I genuinely, after this tag breakup with Rhea, I have a feeling, and I'm scared that they don't know what to do with Io Sky now. I understand why.
Like, that's what I'm saying, Dave. If you look at Io Sky is there, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, so LA Knight, you just mentioned and stuff that we have so many stars out there at the moment that have nothing at the moment in relation to this show that are just going to end up in 3 ways or 4 ways or whatever the hell it is. And it's just weird, you know? It could happen. It could easily happen, you know what I mean? And we don't necessarily want that either. You know what I mean? Because we want that match to be the match it's supposed to be and stuff like that. What I did like about this week's match with Stephanie as well and Raquel as well is it's kind of sown the seed for a bit of long-term storytelling for Liv as well, where she can then turn around and eventually go, well, you know, I got the job done, Raquel, when you couldn't, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And it allows for that switch and that turn down the road as well. So they're building in little things there at the moment and stuff, you know. You could even see it when Raquel lost. Did you see the face on Liv? When Liv was kind of a little bit beat up and the makeup was flowing down the mush and all, and, you know, she was there. But you could see, you know, she's not only looking at Stephanie as well, but you could see she's beginning to sow seeds about, you know, in different thoughts about Raquel as well, which is really, really cool, you know. Really, really like that.
Yeah, and Danhausen, right? Danhausen, Niall, you need to get a t-shirt cannon and you need to fire across Stephen's screen.
Why?
Because that was deadly. I'm sorry, the merch master Danhausen. I'm sorry, they're using him to perfection. He is shifting. I don't think we'll ever see him in a ring, lads. I'm calling it now. I don't think we'll ever see him in a match. I think it's backstage, merch push, job done.
His stuff.
I think the minute they put, I loved Kofi's shirt as well. Kofi's shirt was class. I might end up getting a few of them, all right. But you know what I thought was hilarious as well? I've been saying this. I think the minute they put him in a ring, he's dead. He'll die a death. I think just keep him as far away from a ring as you can.
Keep him as a personality and keep him as a backstage and merch push. Did you see the Stone Cold videos on socials though? He's wearing the 316 t-shirt now.
Yeah.
Class.
Oh,
he retweeted that with simply the word "what."
Yeah,
he's a bleeding legend. He's a legend.
Acers, you can't come along and say 8 matches each night over 2 nights is too much when you're on bigging up AEW Revolution and stuff like that and all. Seriously, though, come on.
AEW is 4.5. Look, AEW is 4.5 hours per pay-per-view or Acers. Come on now. You can't.
Is that on average? That has to be on average because I remember at least 2 of them being 6 hours.
No, the last 4 or 5 of them going from about All or Nothing last year was 4.5. Like it's usually 4.5 bang on.
Wow.
They don't include the kickoff show where the dinosaur drives a bus into arena to deliver a Jungle Boy. Whatever.
Who, by the way, we'll get to that. By the way, I'm quite happy about that result.
Yeah.
Very happy with that result.
Raquel is next to Live Judgment Day, the way Liv. Yeah, absolutely. Sharon. That's how I read it, and I thought it was really, really cool the way they're doing that.
That's how it's going to be.
Right. Let's park it there for the moment. Let's have a look at WrestleMania. And this is we're going to talk about H first.
There's the man himself. There's Sami Zayn. Oh, sorry, no, it's not Sami Zayn.
So there we go. A lot of talk at the moment, lads. How do you feel about this? A lot of talk at the moment that these 3 shows coming up in Saudi could be rerouted, if you like, and stuff like that.
I don't think they will.
That's there.
We spoke about the same thing in October.
I don't think it will.
In October, there was a show on in Riyadh last year at some point, and we spoke about that, and we were like, it might be rerouted, and in the end, it wasn't. They just upped the security, got them there.
Saudi Arabia seems far from what the rest of the Emirates are going through, like UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, all them. Saudi was struck once, and it was an American base in Saudi. So I don't think they're going to be. I mean, Riyadh is very far inland, to be honest.
I will say this though, Dave.
I don't think they'll cancel them.
No, they'll make everyone safe though in that place.
No, I'll say this, not to get political, but the expectation is that this is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. That's the expectations. So
look,
my feeling on it is if it gets a lot worse, then yeah, they'll have to redirect it. But that's the expectation that I'm seeing.
But that WrestleMania's not for another year, Brent, so a lot of things could happen by then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but then the other expectation is that Iran is going to start. Again, this is not a political podcast, sorry, but
no,
Iran have said that they're going to start going after US embassies and stuff like that, or US buildings. So,
well, look, to put to bed this political conversation, his chief counter-terrorism officer resigned today out of protest and turned around and said the only reason that America started the war in Iran was because it bent over a table and took Israel up the hoop. And that's what we all knew already, but he confirmed it. So they shouldn't even be there to begin with. It's all Israel, 110% Israel. Anyway, on to Jordan Devlin's Fahid.
On to me putting up the right.
The right.
There we go.
There we go.
Now, do you know what sometimes happens? What happens is I get the presentation ready, right? And then throughout the day something happens and I add stuff in. And I've already put the show together and have it up on Restream, and I forget to upload the latest presentation. So that's what happened there. So here's your slide anyway for WrestleMania. Yes. We got Rolls Royce and all that kind of good stuff. But a lot of the matches you see on there are confirmed. Obafemi is confirmed.
So I take it Blue is night 2, and the other one, the Fallout style, is night 1.
Yeah, I presume so. I presume
because that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, like
kind of giving hints.
Yeah. Thank God, I would say. Thank God. But I wanted to focus. I mean, obviously, we have the Kabuki Warriors there as well, which we think may happen. Are we thinking they may go Becky with AJ Lee now? Is that the way they might pivot this?
Yeah,
there'll be a stipulation match. Yeah.
Yeah. Or do we think there'll be more than just the two? I mean, again, I just pulled stuff. Obviously, we've spoke about LA Knight as well. Nothing really there for him. Does he find himself in the Obafemi match, or does he find himself in with the Usos in a 6-man, or what way does it work?
I hate to say it, Niall, but sorry to cut across you. I hate to say it, but this Mania feels like it could do with bringing the Money in the Bank ladder match back to it. Do you know that, to give these talents that are out in the hallways a bit more exposure? I know we have a Money in the Bank pay-per-view, but you know the way it used to be at Mania, this Mania could actually benefit from a Money in the Bank ladder match with all these stars that are not featured.
They need to do some sort of a match if they're not going to include them. I still really believe that we're going to get Seth versus Braun Breaker. I don't think Seth is going to end up being in some sort of a 6-man against the Vision.
Well, they wouldn't bring him back, would they, if they had nothing planned for him? Like, they had something planned for him, like, you know?
Yeah, but I think that all the talk at the moment is that Breaker's going to be ready to go at WrestleMania, and that, you know, the talk is he may be one of the hoodie guys that ends up turning on Seth maybe the week before or something like that, and they set up the match. To see Seth Rollins as a talent to be mixed up in a 6-man or something like that at WrestleMania would be quite the drop off, I would say, to say the least. That's how I would feel. I don't know your thoughts. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But I have to say, looking at this, folks, and I know we've had a lot of talk about WrestleMania, and it doesn't feel like WrestleMania season and stuff like that. This is becoming a very stacked card with a lot of talent on it.
Yeah,
it's looking like it could be potentially what Cody said. It could be a sleeper Mania where we're sleeping on this, but could be an outstanding WrestleMania if everything goes to plan. Any other thoughts on it from you guys? Or that, like, when you look at the talent that's on there and the star power,
I'm disappointed that Fatu and Drew is not part of the Cody and Randy situation, making it a fatal 4-way. To be honest with you, because it all made sense, to be honest, to make it a fatal 4-way.
But they're not. So, like let's come here. I think we need to we need to move on from this, because, like I said, I thought this was going to be a 4-way challenge. I think, Keith, I partially agree with you. But the reality of it is, it's looking like it's not going to happen. So we need to get. I think we need to move on from this. Drew McIntyre kind of got screwed over internally. It's done. It's over. We've spoken about it, and I think Drew McIntyre is going to come out of this looking amazing. I think there has to be something there for him. I think, but the fact that he's not part of the match, there's nothing we can do about it. That's it.
I think that will be an I Quit match or something like that match. Because he's going after me.
Yeah, the only reason that though they probably won't do it is obviously because Seth hasn't been around either of these guys. He's been kind of out there with kind of Brock and Heyman and the Vision and kind of things like that. No, so he hasn't been anything to do with Roman or CM Punk. So listen, I wouldn't be against it because it was phenomenal last year and stuff like that. But we know Roman at the moment, like, and Punk, kind of neither of them are anything to do with Heyman now. They're gone on from it basically, you know. So I don't see how. Go ahead, yeah.
I was going to say, Noel, I think you're onto something with Breaker being one of the masked men, but I think it happens maybe a couple of weeks before, and then I think we have a tag team. I know you said it's a bit of a downgrade, but it gets LA Knight. If it gets LA Knight in the card and you have LA Knight and Seth Rollins versus Breaker and somebody else, we could be in for some kind of a treat there. The match in itself, because like I said last week, what do you do when you feel you've been downgraded on the card? You put on the best match. You put on the best match of the show, and let's not forget Dom and Balor are going to be part of this as well.
Well, what if you do it this way? Here's another way of doing it, right? What about if Seth Rollins comes out on WrestleMania Night 2 or whatever it is, and he has a bee in his bonnet and says, "I'm the number one guy in here. I'm the top talent. I'm this, that, and the other," and you couldn't even find a match for me, and he comes out and all the hoodie guys are going blah, 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 all the usual stuff, right? And the next thing, Braun Breaker unmasks at Mania, gets on the mic and says, "Get me a fucking referee out here. You now have a match."
Hell yeah!
Is that the way to do it?
That is
because the problem we have is if we unmask them 2 or 3 weeks, if we unmask them say 2 weeks before, we don't really have enough of that time to build anything of reasonable, tangible kind of thing. Except what's happened. I think if they do that Mania night, I think if we get a disgruntled Seth Rollins going out there, and he goes out there, you couldn't even find a match, and he has a go off H, has a go off creative, Berry's Road Dog, whatever way you want to do it on the promo. He'll cut an amazing promo as he always does.
So now
the lads are all kind of mosing around the ring and stuff like that. Seth steps into the middle. Breaker right behind him, unmasks. All the hoodie guys turn around and look at Breaker and go, "Oh shit," flee the ring. Seth turns around. Breaker says, "Get me a fucking ref out here right now." And they have to Breaker goes on.
Would you have now around the ring like they did, what was a week or two ago, but then have one of the masked men, which is Braun Breaker, spear Seth Rollins while they still have the hoodie on, and then he takes the hoodie off then.
Doesn't matter how they do it.
If he spears him, you can't. Basically, the problem is if you spear him, then you can't have the match because the spear is the killer. Yeah. So the problem is you don't get your WrestleMania match. Then you get an attack, but then what do? Do you come out on Raw the next day and go, "Hi guys, I'm back"? You know what I mean? Like it's, you know, what I mean, you need to have the match there as well. You know, and then what you can have is what you can have there then as well is if Breaker beats him and stands over him like Obafemi with Lesnar last night, you can have the Vision then coming down and standing in the ring at that moment as well. So they all get that bit of a moment. They all get a bit of a rub off it. Maybe that's
and it hurts nobody. It hurts nobody. Everybody comes out $1 million. That's much better. Much better.
What do we make it a belly roll thing?
Oh, Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
It's just look. It's we've always had a celebrity kind of match at Mania. We've always had that celebrity appearance. And look, he done a great job with Randy Orton when it happened. And by the way, Randy's shove on Jerry Rollins SmackDown was hilarious. I love that little interaction. But I think personally, we've always had the celebrity appearance at Mania. So why not go for someone who's actually done a decent job and put himself on the line like a lot of celebrities haven't done in the past? And I think, go for it. I mean, he's already done the training. He's put the work in. You can't go wrong with putting him in the ring because you know what to expect after his thing with Randy.
But Keith, we've been doing WrestleMania videos on the channel, right? So every day is a WrestleMania video leading up to this year's WrestleMania, right? I did WrestleMania 1, and that's how it started. It started with celebrities. It started with Mr. T, and Mr. T was in the ring. I think as long as WrestleMania is going to be around, there's always going to be a celebrity involved. And to Dave's credit, exactly like he said, we've seen the work Jelly Roll puts in. What a stupid name, by the way. What's his real name?
His ma gave it to him. That's why he put it in there. That's why his name's Jelly Roll.
Stupid name. Stupid. If my ma called me, imagine, all right, lads, what's your name? Swiss Roll. Piss off.
Yeah, but it probably suited him more when he was a Monjaro Roll. You know what I mean? It probably suited him more like when he comes out and when he walks out on stage and he's 400+ pounds and like he has the voice of an angel singing country and western or whatever it is, stuff like that. The kind of Jelly Roll fits. You know, it's a bit different if you're calling a skinny Monjaro the out guy Jelly Roll. You know, it's kind
so
of
would you call him a
oh shit, no,
a gluten-free Jelly Roll then, fat-free Jelly Roll? What do you call him?
Spring roll.
Spring roll. Actually, yeah, spring roll. I'll take that all day long.
You know, for them,
that should be his finisher, the spring roll. And he should do like a cowdy. He should do like a cowdy cutter into a moonsault into a whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm doing something.
I think we might get Jay versus LA Knight. I'm just thinking of it now, actually.
That's a good show. Yeah. No, they have to put the tag titles. It'll be the tag titles against Division.
Yeah, actually,
yeah. Forgot about that.
I know they have it next week, but something will happen because it'll be shenanigans.
Acers, what's wrong with the mic? Saying sort the mic. What's wrong with the mic? I can't see anything wrong with the mic.
I'm hearing everyone.
His real name is Jason DeFord. Jason DeFord. Oh. Yeah, I think I'd rather
go with Trick Williams, don't we? And Sami Zayn. That's another one.
Yeah. That's
one. Yeah.
Feck off, Brett.
Yeah. Hopefully, night one.
You're gonna one match you're not gonna like. So
there you go. Thank you for my great life. Can you just please put Sami Zayn on night 2 and have him walk through the crowd and have him walk through the crowd and give Niall a hug?
You know that ain't gonna happen. That's for sure. Anything else anyone wants to add from Mania and you want to see? Anything you'd like to see?
Randy's secret manager. Is it Flair? Is it his dad? Is it The Rock? Who's it gonna be?
His dad probably
it's not Ric Flair because Ric Flair is bollocks. I don't think it's his dad, but then I don't know what his dad is like these days. And if you're looking for somebody with a reaction, with a connection to the story, it's got to be Dwayne. But as we all know, Dwayne isn't looking too big these days, so he's probably not going to be him either.
Niall had a good comment about that now.
Well, speaking of lads wearing donut necklaces, they could always bring back Batista because he's going around with pearly bead necklaces on himself as well, isn't he?
Do you know what? I wouldn't say no to Batista coming back with Randy though. I imagine that'd be class.
Oh shit!
Get the evolution story back in, like that'd be class.
But isn't the $1 Million Man? Isn't he bailing Ted Jr. out for this? That's what I heard. I heard the wrestling news told me today that Ted Jr.
bailing him out for Mania, then put him back in the cell after.
Listen, come here. Listen.
So the guy who I think is up on fraud charges relating to money, relating to charities, is going to be the guy that comes in at WrestleMania. Like how under pressure do you have to be to go there? Like
name a better heel persona right now.
Yeah, Captain Day.
Do we need to level up Legacy any more than they're doing at this stage? Really?
I'm just saying, cracker.
I think Mania be fun, and you know what? Like I genuinely think Mania will be class. I really do. I know that it's not the best build up, but we all know what Mania weekend's like with us lot. Doesn't matter. You could put fucking Terry Funk out of the grave and put him up against Hulk Hogan. We still watch it.
Yeah, would do. And we're also going to be live here watching WrestleMania together. Niall, of course, is going to be in Las Vegas live. He will be there in the second night, but we will be watching WrestleMania live right here on the upper tier. More details to follow. Watch it with us.
If you're free.
If you're free.
Absolutely.
If you're not watching it with us, have us on the background while you've got it going on.
Yeah.
Do we see this turning into 16 matches though, as was Acer said?
Yeah,
I think with the level of talent that hasn't got matches at this stage, you have to find something, don't you?
Yeah.
I think you have to find something,
Some echoing sounds very annoying.
Oh,
Acers, do me a favor. Where's the echoing coming from? So if it's from my mic, I can try sort it out. Is there anybody else hearing it? If it's from Keith's mic or Dave's or
I'm not hearing anything.
I'm not hearing
anything. Not echoes on my end.
I'm all good.
Let me check YouTube while you're. I'm gonna mute myself.
He could be hearing. He could be hearing Bren just smashing a bowl over the eating grub and stuff. Maybe that's what it is.
Dry flakes.
My friend is green jelly for the occasion.
The chances are, Racers, if it's coming through, it could be maybe something on your end because we've all got the same setup here. We haven't done anything different, so maybe go out and come back in, maybe or something like that, and drop another like. Thanks. Right, here we are, TKO, folks. Apparently,
no echo on my YouTube. So sorry, just thought I said it.
Echo.
No echo on my YouTube.
Sorry.
Right. Apparently, very frustrated with WrestleMania 42 ticket sales. The projected sales are way lower. I think they're down at this stage nearly 10,000 tickets on each night, lower than last year. You're looking at stadiums at the moment, literally half full. For both nights, about 36,000, 38,000 night too. But one source has said that by putting WrestleMania back in Las Vegas again was the wrong decision, and that's what's really, really killed it. And TKO apparently is forcing WWE now to collaborate with influencers and celebrities to promote WrestleMania to get ticket sales over the line. Thoughts?
Whose fault is that? Right? Hang on a minute. Right? No.
Their own fault.
It's 100%. TKO need to take a long look in the mirror and take accountability. The price tickets are too high to the point where people are saying, bring the old man back, bring Vince back. He was family friendly. Oh, I said a word wrong, Keith. Calm down, will you?
Is it though, Brent? The ticket prices, if you're looking at them, is it primarily caused by? I know ticket prices have gone up everywhere in every facet of entertainment, but like there's obviously some sort of a Vegas tax there that bumps it even more and stuff like that. I've seen it even with the service charges. When you pay the service charges on Ticketmaster for something like the Allegiant, it's massive. Our service charges last year were 350 quid.
Right, but what was the tax? What was the tax in Dublin when it was €400 a ticket? What was the tax in other places when it was double and triple that? It's the ticket pricing. It's the overall quality of what's going on. We have week in, week out, we have said Raw's been shit, SmackDown's been shit, and every now and again it's like Raw's actually all right. And that's it. It's inconsistency in the quality of what's going on creatively. Whilst imagine that. Here's a load of shit, right? Here's what we're doing, except we're going to do it worse, and then we're going to charge you higher. Get a grip.
But didn't they lower the price?
See, yeah, they did. Yeah, they gave you 31.6% off yesterday, actually, for Austin Day.
But they're looking for every excuse. You said it yourself.
But Bren, you know what the issue is as well, and I think this is a real big issue as well. A lot of people who go to WrestleMania, that is their annual holiday, so they spend a week or 2 or 10 days. So the thoughts are going back to the same place again. Like if you've done Vegas once, you've done it really. There's not a whole lot that you'll miss out on, really. You know what I mean? So I think what happened was a lot of people used their trip to WrestleMania as their actual annual holiday because it costs a lot of money. It's normally in really good places that you want to visit and stuff that you want to see. But you don't necessarily want to go back there again straight away. So it might be the fact that people are turning around going, well, right, this year we're not going to take our annual holiday and go to Vegas and get gouged on the pricing. What we're going to do is we're going to take our annual vacation or holiday when we normally take it, and we'll stay at home this year and we'll watch WrestleMania on Netflix, or we'll go to one of the watch parties locally wherever we are. And I think that might be a part of it as well, because I think for a lot of people, and you'll hear it from people when you talk to them, their WrestleMania trip is their be-all and their end-all of their holidays within a given year because of how much it costs. And they blow the bag when they're there. The amount of people walking around with sackloads of merchandise costing thousands of dollars and all. So, like, it's not like they're suddenly going to go, right, I'm going to the Maldives in the summer. You know what I mean? So, like, I think that's a lot to do with it as well. You don't necessarily want to go back to the same place year in, year out for your annual holiday.
So I think that might be. I also think as well, Niall, it's to do with the tickets as well and the pricing. And as people are just fed up with it too, like, you know.
It's a topic. It's a topic on every wrestling podcast. It's a topic on everybody that talks about wrestling online is the price tickets. I do understand what you're saying, Niall. That makes a lot of sense. But I also think we have to factor in that those people who use their yearly holiday to follow WrestleMania, now their holiday prices doubled, in some case tripled. I mean,
tenfold maybe. tenfold,
100%, and that's not great. And like you can't keep up with that. Like not if you're on kind of like your basic salary, basic wages, and so you just can't keep up with that. And getting influencers, I bleeding hate influencers. I don't. Influencers not a job for me.
It's the way of the land, though. Now, Brent, it's the way of the land.
But I do.
I think it's also a reaction as well. I think people were disappointed because obviously New Orleans is obviously a great location for WrestleMania, and you know the history and the culture and everything else that's down there and all. Great place to go and stuff like that. Vegas is good as well, but Vegas is good for different reasons. And I think once you've done Vegas, you've done Vegas. Like I said to you guys, to be honest, I didn't have a huge interest in going to WrestleMania this year until Paul asked me to go one of the nights. And I'm in Vegas for when it's there. And I'm as big a wrestling fan as anyone. But I wasn't that pushed on going, to be honest. I've been there, I seen the stadium, I did it. And to be honest with you, looking at the card this year, you could look at the card this year and think maybe it might be a little bit stronger when it all fleshes out.
Than last year.
Just my thoughts, you know what I mean? I think so. I think when you look at that slide and you see those names that's on there and the way they're booking, and taking into account we've literally only booked out literally one night's worth in terms of 7 or 8 matches or 6 or 7 matches confirmed at this stage. There's still another whole night to be booked out, sprinkled between both nights, if you like.
Would you expect them to book them more matches, like official more matches next week and the week after then?
Yeah, I think, well, if they don't, as I said, with Seth, it might be a case where it happens on the night and stuff like that. You want to be there when that happens, if that's the case. You know, that would be really cool. Yep. But as you said, you got Gunther, LA Knight, Sami Zayn. You know, we don't know what's happening with Penta with the IC belt. You know, we don't know what's happening with the El Grande Chocomoco Locos and all this kind of thing and all. Like, so
the Wyatt Six. I'm not being funny, but the Wyatt... No, Jay, I'm not being funny. I'm being genuine. The Wyatt Six and the MFTs, it's going to happen. There's going to be something.
Well, again, for the 500th time, yeah?
I agree with you, Dave. But El Juggalo brings up a great point, Niall, in the chat. El Juggalo. The El Juggalo brings up a brilliant point. There's going to be big promotions. He's after giving a list then after that in around WrestleMania.
You could go to Mania without going to Mania. You could have a great Mania week without going to Mania. You could go to WrestleCon. You could do all the indie shows. And you could do all of those indie shows, ticket price wise, for the price of a Mania ticket, depending on where you're sitting up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The only thing though, WrestleMania is WrestleMania. You know what I mean?
I think they'll fill it out. I think they fill the stadium out before it happens.
No,
they won't.
And in order to do that in the next 4 weeks, they're going to have to sell nearly 70,000 tickets.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Here's a question for you, lads. Here's a question for you. Is it really the ticket prices that they're frustrated by, or is it their stock price taking a hit because of the tickets?
Probably both.
You have to remember, these are floated on the New York Stock Exchange.
Probably both.
Is it really, like, when you look underneath all of it, is it really the stock price that they're worried about for Mania?
Yeah. It's obviously driven by the stock price because similar to WCW, right before it ended, the guys that were calling the shots and the guys that were making the big decisions didn't really know much about wrestling and didn't care about wrestling.
No, that was the AOL merger. That's why.
Yeah, no. But it's the same thing. Yeah. It's a room full of suits meeting up about money. Well, what's making us money? What's not? So yeah, I think whether they're frustrated, they're obviously frustrated because of their stock price. Yeah. Absolutely, but they don't give a shit about wrestling. WWE could be taken over next week. They could replace that with AEW next week. They don't care. They do not care.
Stock price is definitely plummet then. But let's not go there yet. Let's not go there yet.
Niall, you touched on Netflix and WWE separating, but I read earlier this week that they're expanding now the PLE services into Germany on Netflix. So are they separating? Are they because they're expanding? They've already done it with Italy. Now they're expanding into Germany. Would they not be stopping that if there was a separation between the two?
I think what happens is maybe they're trying to potentially figure out how they get all these billions back and stuff like that they spent buying it and stuff like that. The one thing I would say is if you think about the views on Netflix and how they have gone from when it launched to where it is now, it's
and they were number one though. They were number one in the US last week.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. It's just for me, it just seems I don't know whether a weekly episodic show fits on like a Netflix platform. Yeah. It's not their thing. That's what I'm thinking. And I wouldn't be surprised if something happens. And I heard the other day I read the other day, did they not hire an ex Netflix guy or something like that to give them the heads up about how Netflix might move in terms of potentially looking to get out of the contract, what that might look like in terms of
they'll have nowhere to go
out of the last 8 years.
They'll have nowhere to go, because at the end of the day, you're cutting your audience in half, if not less. If they get out of the Netflix deal, you're gone.
Would be snapped up. No. Are you telling me if WWE came out of the Netflix deal,
by who? By who? Are you going back to USA where no one in the UK can watch it?
Well, I think
I
don't know. Maybe you're looking at something. Maybe there's like an Amazon Prime or something. Or maybe they go back and they do. Maybe they go back and do their own network again or something like that. I don't know.
The foundations are there for it.
That's just what I heard. Now it could be way off and stuff like that. Maybe they're delighted with the way things are going, but I have to say I don't think WWE has felt. Like, if you look at Netflix as well, you don't see them heavily promoting WWE, do you? And this is their weekly shows and stuff like that and all. You don't see a huge push. You know, you see it on your own recommended list because you watch it all week and stuff like that. But I think what WWE were hoping to harness on TKO was that whole Netflix audience, that maybe bringing wrestling to the front line of that app and that streaming service. You might have been able to drag in a few more people. Now, obviously, some of it coincided at the time with a lot of the McMahon stuff that still needs to be clarified and finalized and all that kind of stuff as well.
It's been very disappointing with them going to Netflix. Like, the catalogue has been shite.
They've been putting on YouTube, but a lot of it's going up on YouTube now for free. It's ridiculous, maybe that's getting under Netflix nerves.
But isn't that an indication as well that you're sitting here getting the shows each week, so you're getting NXT, SmackDown, Raw, all that kind of stuff, plus a drip feed of other stuff in and Unreal and stuff like that as well. And we're clamoring to get it in your house 12 and 13 or whatever it is. Does that not tell us something as well, that the audience wants to revert back into the back catalogue because maybe the juice coming out of the squeezer at the moment weekly ain't what they want to watch?
Bingo.
Yeah. And maybe that's an issue as well, and that's why they're getting such heat as well in that area. I don't know. I don't have the answer, but I just read it there, and it kind of felt like
we'll find out.
It didn't help. It didn't help their case when they got rid of the network, and the network basically gave us all of that, and we got used to having that. We got used to being able to go back.
And the network was brilliant. Had everything.
We took it for granted. We absolutely took it for granted, and now that it's gone, like you said, Noel, that's a bag on point. We're clamoring for it back. I'd literally pay 20 quid a month for that again. Well, I paid a tenner at the time, but I paid 20 quid.
Everybody wants to see the old Raw and SmackDowns, but you can't watch them now. That's the problem.
You can buy them on DVD.
Oh, the tag classics.
Or you can find them if you.
They're all on archive.org, my friends. All Raws, all SmackDowns, all on archive. Or as Niall put in a handy little app he put in the chat there the other day, they're all up there.
Dave.org.
Absolutely.
Archive.org.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting one, all right, but it is like. The issue is if you put all the content up there and you basically create a section of the WWE network on Netflix, then does it water down? Is people just going to go back and start viewing all that? And then are you not tuning into the weekly shows? Like, I have a lot of people these days coming into me as well saying they don't tune into the weekly shows, but they'll watch the PLEs and they'll watch, the pay-per-views, and they'll watch WrestleMania and SummerSlam and Royal Rumble, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like your cousin Mark will watch probably all that stuff.
Yeah, but the thing about it as well is you can go and you can watch those and like you probably don't even feel lost because there's not as much build-up as there used to be. It's kind of a throwaway thing, really, isn't it? We've spoken about that before on PLEs and pay-per-views. They kind of sometimes they're just a throwaway bigger event with more pyro and a bigger stage and a different ring skirt. I don't know.
It's funny because there was a section of Raw. Now, this is me being nitpicky. There was a section of Raw where it went a bit silent and they started playing that Aerosmith rock song. And I was like, you know what? And they're releasing the Desire videos and all that. And this is such a small thing, but one of the things that's missing from wrestling today is stop trying to be trendy. We don't need to hear rap music. Wrestling fans don't necessarily like rap music. We like rock music. Stick it rock music. Bring something like that back. Bring back a bit of an old feel. And I remember, like, it came on Raw. I watched Raw this morning, full transparency. It came on Raw and I was like, do you know what? That's fucking deadly. I like Eminem. I like a bit.
But think about it. Why did we pop at Mania last year for Damian Priest?
Slayer.
Everyone popped for it, the entrance and everything. So like it flows with what you're saying and stuff. I am going to be talking a little bit later when Dave talks about AEW. We're going to be talking about promo videos and Desire videos and Sound the Seed and all that kind of stuff. It's non-existent in AEW, but we will talk about it. Yeah, I agree. Listen, Juggalo, I went to one of my highlights last year at WrestleMania was TNA Unbreakable. I had an unbelievable time at TNA Unbreakable. And I often say to people as well, if you're going to WrestleMania, go to WrestleCon. WrestleCon will be one of the highlights of your trip. Now, having said that, it's a different thing when you're in a stadium with 70,000 fans and you feel that energy and that entrance and the grandeur of it and stuff like that. No, if the wrestling falls a bit short of your expectation, then absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Look, there's tons of stuff on. I was only looking with Paul today. We were trying to see when the Micro Brawlers are wrestling. We're going to go to one of their shows. I can't wait to go to that, man. If I go to that, the footage on the channel will be insane. I'm telling you now. I will go on a mad one. I love that stuff. More matches will booked on SmackDown side. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. There's plenty more coming, I'd say. I was surprised that Stone Cold was not on Raw last night. I wasn't. I don't think he gives a toss anymore. Being honest. I think it's just a way to peddle merch to give him a few quid.
Yeah, pretty much. Because he still has royalties from his merch, doesn't he?
Well, he's going to be at WrestleMania, isn't he, this year?
I don't know.
He'll do what he wants.
The talk.
Yeah.
But I mean, he'll come out and announce the attendance.
If you can't get him on 316 in San Antonio, which is basically his back garden,
you're not going to get him in Vegas.
Is this going to be The Rock again, where we're all going around in Stone Cold, and 316 shirts, and he doesn't bother his hole? So I don't know. We'll see. As long as he doesn't run over any more L ones and stuff, we'll be all right. Right, let's move on from this and we'll see what happens. Right, what's up next? This was an interesting one. Big thank you to who created the graphic and stuff like that. Really, really good. What's your thoughts on this? This is where they were 10 years ago to where they are now. And I promised Bren I wasn't having a dig at Cody. I promise I wasn't. Because listen, Punk was sitting at home on his couch, so Prime.
Yeah.
So
I definitely.
The more things change, the more they remain the same. It's fascinating to see this. Back then, if you had told me Punk would be back in the WWE, nah. I knew Cody was gonna. I knew Cody was going to move on to bigger and better things. But to see Randy in the main event in 2026, it's not only deadly, it's brilliant. But that's fascinating to look at. What do you think?
It's mad to think that Roman Reigns, this is his 11th Mania. Was it his 11th main event at Mania? Like that's
and listen, 5 or 6 years ago, everybody was booing the bejesus out of him and wanted no part of him. Actually, 5 years ago was the start of the tribal chief, I think. But
Bloodline saved him.
The Bloodline saved him, and everybody pissed on him. They said, "This is disgraceful. I can't believe his main event in another WrestleMania." And here we are, kissing his ass. Fantastic. I love wrestling.
I'm not kissing Roman Reigns' ass.
Yeah,
far from it. No.
Oh. Yeah. You look like this, Romanto. This is funny actually. Last night I was watching a documentary. I think it was on Netflix, and it was the hip hop hoax.
I don't know the Scottish lads.
The two lads from Dundee is brilliant, isn't it?
It's deadly. The movie is out this weekend, I think. They made a whole movie about it.
So
I literally, I only stopped watching. Yeah, deadly. Very good.
It's I remember.
Just when Atto says, like, just allow the words out together, hopefully make a sentence.
I watched the BBC documentary with the two of them, like, about 8 or 9 years ago, and I swear, see, when I came over here first and I heard the story, I thought, that's not fucking real. And then I watched their documentaries, like, holy shit, this is deadly.
And whilst we're on that subject, can we just bring up Kurt Hennig for a sec? And his old country music gimmick in WCW.
Rap is crap. Yeah.
Yep,
rap is crap. What a tune. Check it out on YouTube. It's a terrible song, but you'll bop along to it nonetheless.
Yeah. Absolutely.
By the way, that ladder match, is that the one where Ting won it? What's his name?
Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder. Yeah.
Yeah, and they took it off him the next night and they sacked him. That was one of my unforgettables because I actually popped big time when he won that title. I was so happy.
10 years ago.
And they took it off him the next night and got rid of him, man. Honestly, but that was the era where WWE were literally giving people their moments one night and then ripping it off them the night after. Like,
thank Vince.
Ryder's that seems like a bit of a pox battle, but that moment was fucking lovely. It was deadly.
I love that. It is a big moment. I loved it.
It's
Sharon,
mad
I'm not
to see,
gonna lie. Sharon, I'm not gonna lie. I did pop for Randy Orton last week on SmackDown. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and not lie.
The Viper is back.
He is, but like,
I don't know if I've seen the pictures. Did you see the pictures of Cody backstage after it as well? He was pretty fucking
brilliant.
Yeah.
And I won't hear a bad word about him ever again.
Yeah, Cody's a pox.
100%.
I'm going that out. When are you back?
Keep MJF in your thoughts, folks.
No, you pussied out. Lads, I'd like to put it on the record. Brent pussied out last time I came back. I can't go in, I'm sick. I can't stay off work, I'm sick. You pussied out, you big.
I had to go to the doctors. I'm not afraid of.
I put this on our group today, but this is my ideal WrestleMania. This is my ideal WrestleMania.
So that's your ideal outcome, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the outcome we're looking at.
I genuinely think it is the outcome we're looking at. But again, Reigns is my only issue with that outcome.
This slide was put up today, and it was: is this WrestleMania the most predictable WrestleMania ever?
Go on, Brent, say it.
WikiLeaks Wrestling Entertainment. WikiLeaks Wrestling Entertainment. That's what it should be called. You knew it was coming, Dave.
I did. I was ready for it. Hey! Mashallah, my brother.
This. Right, Dave.
Right.
AEW time.
It's my time.
Dave, I can't even remember most of the points I got upset by. I sent them to you on WhatsApp. So.
I'll tell you what. Hold on.
You start off with yours.
Let me bring them up here. Yeah, no, just have to look up the archives.
Go through the matches on the card first fairly quickly.
While you're looking at that, I just want to say one thing. Ricochet is a pox bottle. A pox bottle, a bad heel, and a pox bottle. Follow that prick on
Twitter.
enough.
That's enough from the Fed guy. Let's just focus on AEW here, folks.
Hang on a minute.
We'll start off with the...
You still have a large portion of the audience here who do not know what a pox bottle is. Just saying.
Don't look it up. It's manky stuff. Right. Let's start off with the 21-man battle royal, which I was delighted with the outcome because Ricochet got the title ripped off him. As every battle royal, it's a bit of fun. This one was just a laugh. I took it for what it was. Bit of fun. Jack Perry won the title off Ricochet. Ricochet can get the fuck. Happy days. Young Bucks against FTR. I struggled my way through this match for the sake of it because I've seen it a million times before. But the ending, which Niall pointed out in one of his notes here. Let me take a look. Hold on. Edge and Christian return, yet there's been no mention of the attack on Bet since it happened. It will be used to sell tickets in Toronto at Dynasty, even though it's in Vancouver. The homeboys getting
Canada,
right? Now, I agree with that. There should be more talk on the Bet situation because that should be used to fuel this feud, whatever it is. But Edge and Christian coming back, the way they done it was great. It was great.
It was deadly.
I
still don't want them to be called Cope, but that comeback was rapid.
Look, them coming back again, love it. Absolutely love it.
What did you think? Like, one of the pet peeves I had about it was they front loaded everything into the first hour and a half of the pay-per-view. Why?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. I think they should have structured the card in a way that it flowed with the anticipation a bit better, where you had that satisfaction stretched out over the whole card. I agree with you in that respect. There was way too much energy drawn in the first hour or 2 hours, whatever it was. And I agree with you. By the time you get to the middle of the card, you're gassed. Do you know what I mean? More so than, Ultimate Warrior running to the ring. But
well, see, what happens is you front load it that way and everyone pops and the energy and the adrenaline and everything and all.
Exactly.
And then for like that big 1/3 or 2/3 middle section, no one gives a shit about because then everyone wants to get to the Texas Deathmatch.
Exactly.
And we had this before. Remember when Daniel Bryan was on the card and he was wrestling regularly for them. Bryan Danielson.
Exactly.
You know, everyone was waiting when Punk was there. Everyone was waiting for the Punk match. When Joe was wrestling, everyone's waiting for the Joe match, the Edge match, and everything else. Everything else before it, where there might be a level of quality there. There might be a lot of lads wrestling there. There might be matches that you're interested in, but you zone out because you've already had that massive adrenaline dump. You look at those first 3 or 4 matches there, like and just. You know, I wrote down. I told you everything I had pet peeves about.
Absolutely,
just frustrated me.
So, Dave, do you think they need to cut down on the matches then, just so the fans don't get burned out?
See, I think they overloaded it with 9 matches here, Keith. I think 6 or 7 is enough because that's how much we want out of pay-per-view. Because we complain about the way the complaints are is the 4-card WWE PLEs, they're too little. The 9-card AEW PLEs or pay-per-views are too much. 6 or 7 is where the balance lies. That's, you know, the 3-hour pay-per-views, what we used to get all the time. That's a good balance. There was matches here that could have been done on Dynamite or Collision. For example, the Swerve Strickland Brody King, as fun as that match was, and as good as Swerve Strickland is now, and what they've done with him is fantastic. It could have been done on a Dynamite or Collision main event. It could have been done there. The Women's Tag Team Championship match, look, I know I've said it with WWE about them not having these titles on pay-per-views, but in this case, it could have been done on a Dynamite or a Collision. See, taking those 2 out, even that would have been much, much better. You know, especially with the Andrade versus fucking Bandito match, which was absolutely stellar, by the way. I called it when that was put on the card that would be fantastic. My God, was it good. But the standout match for this entire pay-per-view for me was Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita. If you've not watched it, I've watched it 3 times already, no joke. It's so good as just a hard-hitting wrestling match. Honestly, them two tore the house down. No blood involved from Mox, well, much anyway, more Takeshita. But it was a really good match. There was respect shown at the end of it from the two of them. Really, really good story in the ring. I just, you know, I'm so happy that Mox has gone back to the wrestling and less of this deathmatch hardcore stuff. Because when he got to the end of last year, he did stay. He's going to do more in the ring than just your blood and guts stuff. And this match perfectly represented what he wants to do going forward. And I'm all for it. What a match. The title match. Yeah, look, the Texas Death Match, you've told me all of your thoughts, and I'm not going to disagree with you at all. You all messaged me individually, actually, at one point. The Texas Death Match stuff, look, once a year, if they didn't have a Collision that was called, or Dynamite that was called Blood and Guts, you know, you've literally got a show entitled Blood and Guts. That's your time to do it in the year. There's been, now you guys are saying there's too many death matches. There wasn't actually that many over the last year, believe it or not. I think there was only 2 or 3, but it is too much when you have Dynamite Blood.
No, I think Dave, I think the issue in AEW at the moment is there's too many matches that look like they're Texas Death matches.
Yeah, that's no, I agree with you there.
I think if you look at this card here, if your top billing is MJF versus Hangman in a Texas Death Match, no one should be bleeding on this card prior to that match. Yeah. You have the Young Bucks nearly having a fucking blood transfusion in the second match on the card.
Takeshita's bleeding.
Then you have blood.
Match.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, this should not happen. Like, that should be all reserved for that top match.
Agree.
The other issue I have is, and you know, there's certain elements of this match that I think are really, really good. But I think if you look at the lineage and the history of Texas Death Matches and stuff like that and all, there's a kind of a proven kind of
formula.
Let's say formula, format and stuff like that and all of how you do it and stuff like that. And I think when you start adding in the stupid shock and all kind of stupid stuff that they do, I think it takes away from the history and the lineage of the match. I don't necessarily want to see guys injecting each other through their cheeks and stuff like that.
If you take that out,
I don't know what that does.
If you take that out of it, right? Take the syringe out of it, because we had it at All In with Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland. We had it at Revolution. If you take that out of it, I have no problem with the dog collar stuff, because that goes back a long, long time.
That's the history of it.
Texas. Dory Funk Jr., all of them done it. The spot where they went through the exploding tables and that, it's been done by Cactus Jack and Terry Funk in Japan. The history's there for it. I think the biggest problem was you take that syringe out of it, people look at that differently. Legitimately.
Yeah, but Dave, when you look back on it as well, like who was John Moxley end up suffocating Darby Allin with a fecking bag? Like, how is that wrestling?
Yeah, but we're past that, man. That was like the first half of last year. I get what you're talking about. I 100% agree with you there. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think they learned from that because there was a lot of complaints over that.
Yeah, it's the desire to create like shock and awe moments, and I think and I understand if you're the upstart who's trying to do things a certain way or a different way, like ECW used to be and stuff like that, with crucifixions and all sorts of stuff. I kind of get that, but I kind of like it just bothers me. I sent you a lot of points on so many levels, like individually each of the matches and stuff like that. I didn't necessarily have a major problem with them. I thought the syringe thing always bothers me. I think it's silly, and the fact that you're getting color throughout the card. And then the Texas Death Match has to deliver. And maybe that's the case. That's why they go with the shock and all because of it. But I think there's at least 4 matches on here you could suck out of here and put on Dynamite or put on Collision.
Yeah, the Tornado tag match, no problem. The Trios World Tag Titles, no problem. There is 4. Yeah. There's 4 easy you could take out of there.
But if you take those 4 matches out and you leave the 5 or whatever it is, or 6 or whatever it is, and we've seen it, Dave, in some of the previous pay-per-views we've watched, where you only have 5 or 6 matches on it, so much more enjoyable as an experience in experience in AEW and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
100%.
And I just think that's a much better way to go. The problem that they have is they have a hard on at the moment for getting every bastard on the roster on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Every
WWE has the opposite problem where they're not
every different false finish, every different fake pin, every different count out, they try to get every single scenario. Every
try and please everyone,
you
know what I mean? It is, exactly.
Yeah, but they're just damaging themselves, I think, because I just come out of this thinking this is another marathon again. It's another trawl. By the time I get to MJF, I'm fucking wasted. I don't have it in me to enjoy it. Then I have to go back and redo it. You know, it's just weird for me.
I will give credit to MJF coming out in the Terry Funk gear was a touch of class going into a Texas Death Match.
Awesome,
I thought
awesome.
So good. The end of it,
but then you go and abandon the principles of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. But the blood on the camera at the end was an accident. But they done well sticking with that camera to end the show. So I thought that is absolutely class. That is
unfortunately, that is Dave.
So good.
But Dave, unfortunately for that match and for this entire pay-per-view, the only thing I've seen online so far, and I've seen about 6 or 7 in a row at a time, every time I scroll on, say, the Book of Faces or Twitter machine or whatever.
Sure.
It's that image of the syringe. And I get it. It was one part of the match that if it wasn't there, probably would have made the match Niall spot on. There shouldn't be color before that, all that stuff. Yeah. However, this will only, whatever work was done before that almost didn't matter today online. Everybody was hyper focused on that one thing.
But that's socials for you. They'll pick out the most shocking bit. And I know it hurts it. But it hurts it. They have to learn from that. And just to touch on Ace's point there, Cocaine Can needs to have pay-per-view on Saturday. Can't compete with WWE on a Saturday night if they have a pay-per-view on. Like, because of the way AEW has their pay-per-view stretched out, right? Mm-hmm. They normally, in the UK, it's on a bank holiday. We have it in August with All In. They can't do it on a Saturday because of what they have to compete with. They're not there yet. They're nowhere near there yet. You know what I mean? And people have to remember, AEW is still a very, 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 very young company. Not that long going. You know what I mean? 2018 or something like that. It was not that old.
Dave, what did you make of Ronda Rousey coming out against?
I thought she shouldn't be anywhere near wrestling ring ever again in her life or a career. But we spoke there. Niall put a good point across about shock value and all of this stuff. She was there to promote her match, and she's pointing at Toni Storm. But she was pointing at Toni Storm because Toni Storm came back in the ring then, and they got separated. Bad call. Bad call on Tony Khan's point. I'm not going to defend him on that at all.
It sucked the energy out of the arena, to be honest.
Nobody wants her anywhere near
the absolute hate for that girl in terms of pro wrestling in the pro wrestling sphere and everything that she said. And I mean, in the last 2 weeks, she's been having a pop off. Everyone, she had a pop off Dana, she had a pop off UFC, she had a pop off WWE. She's burnt a whole bunch of bridges as well. And to be honest with you, I just don't. You know, if she's there to promote the Gina Carano fight, why is that?
I think that's what it was.
It's also on Netflix.
But how does that work? Because but not only that, so they're not going to promote the fight then, obviously, because they're promoting the what they perceive as the competition's broadcasting partner. So they're hardly going to do that. And let's be honest, when MJF was in Happy Gilmore, they never even mentioned it, and he's their top guy.
Yeah,
so
true.
Wow.
By the way,
so
big up in the chat. If you have 100 messages in the chat, guys, big up, well done. Thank you, everyone, for
thank you so
firing
much,
the messages.
I really appreciate it. Yeah. I don't know.
Overall, there was good points, there was bad points. No, I agree. Every point you made to me, I 100% agree with you. No doubt about that. The good points for me.
And you know, Dave, if I gave you 10 points, if you address 5 of them, it's a much more enjoyable experience. Like those first 3 matches, 3 false finishes, all kicking out at one. Like it's so frustrating. So frustrating. Yeah. And you know the worst thing about this is they have plenty of fucking talent. They've all the talent in the world. I can't believe that Will Ospreay just pops out here like he did the other night, and we don't get like after it a documentary. They didn't follow him around for the last whatever it is 3 to 6 months.
Yeah,
with his neck and his recovery and all that kind of stuff, and give us that. So then, like, you know, I can't believe that after what happened the other night, we don't get something coming out about. Okay, let's just remind everyone when they attacked Beth Phoenix and why the boys have a gripe with these guys. Because let's be honest, you could put the boys out there in that tag match to win the tag belts in Vancouver and Canada and all, and you don't even have to mention Beth Phoenix got attacked because it's 7-8 months ago. No one cares. No one cares anymore. You just move on from it. But what they should have done was they should have been teasing that on the last couple of Dynamites or whatever it is, and then led into that, and then everyone would go, "Yeah, that's why the boys."
Same with Ospreay.
And then but it built the anticipation as well, because you're sitting there thinking, are Edge and Christian going to hang? Are they going to come along? Is it going to happen? You know what I mean? They don't do any of that.
I know, and that's the biggest problem. The storytelling, like, again, we're talking about like the polar opposites, right? Because WWE do the storytelling outside of the ring, great. AEW do the storytelling inside of the ring, great. It's like they're both trying to do the opposite thing of what they're good at. And that's the frustrating part, because what I would have done as well is I would have had Ospreay's wings or something show up on a few Dynamites beforehand. Just darken the ring out, have his wings show up, and then bring the lights back up and carry on. Tease it that way. It's not that difficult.
Even give us a little 2 or 3 minute clip of his rehabilitation and what he's doing,
100%.
And build
like what they're doing with
coming
Trips.
Back. You know, I remember with Superstar Billy Graham when he had the hip replacement and he was going up against, was it Jake the Snake Roberts or something like that? No, Butch Reed, someone like that anyway. And they get the vignettes of him trying to climb the mountain with the new hip, and he's on the crutches and he's falling down and he's crawling himself up the stones. Give us that Rocky kind of build to this, you know what I mean? The comeback story and stuff like that. We get nothing, like nothing ever happened. It's just like the 2 boys are coming out and they have a beef with FTR. But like, what's the beef? Half the people there probably don't even remember Beth getting attacked.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You just WWE, you know the way. I think WWE don't do it as much anymore now as they should either. No. You know what I mean? I suppose maybe you get some of it through the Unreal series, whether you like it or don't like it. But remember, they used to do they used to follow Balor around in his recovery and Seth Rollins and all those cool documentaries, and the Usos. Was it WrestleMania 33 or something? The backdrop to that with the Usos and the Hardys.
Yeah,
and they give you a reason to get emotionally invested in it. There's no emotion here. They're not playing on emotion here at all. Ospreay just comes back out, and you hear on commentary, "Oh, this guy's back. Just had neck fusion. Blah blah blah. Just had neck fusion. Like he just got a fucking broken toe or something." You know what I mean? And you're there going, they just throw it away.
You look at when they done that with Austin, and you see
the mania of WrestleMania.
Like when they done Austin's backstage where they had the X-rays and they had the footage from the surgeries and all. They did the same with Triple H. I 100% agree with you, and they missed out big time with Will Ospreay on that one. Now, what I thought about this after you mentioned it, because I was like, no, I agree with you, but I thought about it hard, and I thought, they've not done it here. Are they going to do this now on a build up towards All In? Are they going to get you emotionally invested from now till Wembley to make up for it, perhaps? I don't know. But I have a feeling they're not just going to bring him back and do nothing. I think there will be some sort of vignette or footage or whatever it is. I do like the video they done before he came out, though. I will admit that vignette was really, really cool. If you haven't seen it, have a look at it. He's on a table and he's got the oxygen mask on him. And he takes it off and It's class.
Dave, do you know
Moxley runs in and throws a bag over his head and strangles him? No, but you know what I mean. If they want,
I agree.
If they want to present these guys as big superstars and stuff like that, no, they have to bring us on an emotional journey. We have to get those desire-like videos for us to give a shit that we emotionally connect. We cared about this guy. We're going to buy his fucking shirt. We want Will Ospreay in the main event at All In and Wembley. We want him to get his moment. We want him to get the proper tattoo that says 73,000 people in the stadium and all that kind of stuff. We want all this good stuff to happen. We want to have a reason to tune into this. I said it already. We want an alternative. We want a Monday Night Wars. We want another WCW. Everyone wants that. I know it's way more difficult at the moment because of social media and everything's evolved and the world has changed and kayfabe's gone and everyone loves everyone and all this kind of stuff. I get that. But they have to give us a reason. You know what I mean? You know, if you want, like when we look at Toni Storm gives us a reason to tune into Toni Storm because they present her in a certain way. They drop little videos, they do all this kind of stuff and all, you know what I mean? MJF in a similar kind of way and stuff like that and all. But they really dropped the ball, like Edge and Christian coming out like that, cold as fuck. Will Ospreay coming out, cold as fuck. You know what I mean? And then Ronda Rousey. Yeah. Who was advising him on that? Like, who was advising? Like, has he just not looked at the internet for the last 12 months where she has fucking buried pro wrestling? Buried it. You know what I mean? And you're just there going. But they're not the headlines you want. They're not the headlines you want when actually your competition is perceived as being NXT. You're parachuting Ronda Rousey in there to do exactly what?
I agree.
And then I said to Dave there, then she heads out of the ring with your one Marina and stuff like that. Like everyone remembers the beef they had on ROH.
Did they have beef on ROH?
They did, yeah. They did.
Bren, that is so far down your streaming service, it probably fell off the bottom of it, I'd imagine. But
Bren, you wouldn't even put that on your roll to eat, pal. No, look, I appreciate you talking about AEW. Keith, did you have a question there? Sorry, I think you were going to ask.
Yeah, I did. I was going to say, do you know you mentioned about the wings and all that?
Yes.
Yeah, and they should like do like little teases. So are you talking about like what they did with Undertaker back in WrestleMania 20 when they had that tease for him to come back as the dead man each week, and they had like the ring shaking, and then do you remember all that stuff?
No, I mean, even let's suppose you put together a 1 hour documentary which follows Will Ospreay around for the last, I don't know how long he's out, 6-8 months, whatever length of time it is. This guy's going for neck fusion surgery or whatever it is, you know. This could be career altering, it could be career ending, we don't know. You know, we've seen Kurt Angle and stuff like that and all. Follow him around and every week just give us a little snippet of what's going on. Bring us on that journey. You know what I mean? Bring us on that journey with him back to the ring.
Like the bloodline stuff.
Kind of, but not even on screen. You know what I mean? Like he's probably, I don't know, maybe he got his stuff done in the UK and that's where he was rehabbing and all. But let's be honest, in the last 6 months or whatever it is, the only thing I've seen of Will Ospreay is when he showed up in New Japan for the retirements. I haven't seen anything else. This guy has gone off to have one of the most critical surgeries you can have as a pro wrestler in terms of your career and stuff like that.
Yeah, Triple H quad.
They're throwing it out there like you had a fucking ingrown toenail, like, you know what I mean? Like it needs to be like,
I know.
Bring us on a
journey,
a big deal out of. Make us fucking care. Make me want to buy his fucking shirt and give a shit and buy a ticket for AEW.
By the way, Niall, can you get me a large in that new Ospreay shirt, please? No, seriously, have you seen it? Have you seen it? It's an X-ray of his neck. And it's an X-ray of his neck, and it's got Will Ospreay on the top. It looks deadly, man. It really does.
You know, I just that's for me. That's where I come from on it. I want them to give me a reason to actually physically, emotionally care about this stuff. Really make it want to happen stuff. And WWE's dropped the ball on this a lot as well. You know what I mean? They don't do near enough of it either, to be honest. No. You know what I mean? Because this is the stuff we're interested in. You know, this is the stuff like what was his rehab like, his journey back to the top of the mountain. And then if he does go on and win the main belt at All In and Wembley and have that moment, what a moment that would be if you've brought us on the last 6-8 months of a journey.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but not only but you know that journey we've been on, you've brought us on that journey 100%. From the minute they put the gas on him to the rehabbing to barely being able to fucking move, I'd say, for 3 months with that neck fusion, all that kind of stuff and all, to suddenly rise to the summit of the mountain again. That's what superstars are. That's how you make superstars.
But now,
but then again, they're probably sweating it because Cody's didn't go so well.
One of the best moments of 2002, to your point and to your point as well, Dave, is because they built Triple H and they did that backstory so well. It was Raw. When he came back on Raw, that was moment of the year in 2002. One of the, and that's how powerful those. That's how powerful those videos can be. And you're dead right. WWE have dropped the ball. It's a lost art. They need to play it back. And they need to start doing all that stuff again. Because like you said, Noy, this is why we tune in. Remember they did it with, like you said, Finn Balor. And we got to see him in Bray having a few drinks with his mates. All that stuff. It was deadly. They need to bring it back.
But remember the emotion of him having to relinquish the belt and what it meant to him. You know what I mean? And then even, you know, the synergy between himself and Seth. Then Seth got injured in Dublin. And then Seth, and then the two of them on the rehab table talking together was insane. You know what I mean? It was just to see it there and stuff like that was amazing. You know what I mean? And then you look at Seth Rollins now, who's an absolute megastar. You know what I mean? And Balor in his own right as well and stuff like that and all. You know, so I just think they don't do themselves any service at all by trying to convince us, and it bugs me because they've got so much talent there. You look at like Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, Roddy Strong, who we revered in NXT for God knows how long and stuff. You know what I mean? There's so much in there. Okada's in there. They've made Okada just like, you know, they've played him down that he's just this average Japanese guy that's come into America or something like that. That guy like is just wrestling royalty. You know what I mean? And you're just there going, you know what I mean? It's so frustrating, you know, like
Darby Allin again. I'll bring up another point, and this is on Keith's touched on Keith's point earlier. He's having a coffin match on Dynamite. Do we need to see another coffin match with Darby Allin? He's already had the best one he had in his career with Sting by his side. Doesn't need to have them every fucking 6 weeks. Just give over with the coffin matches, man. Like,
not only that, why is he having it on Dynamite when he's just had a fucking poxy 6-man on the pay-per-view? So we get the shitty mixed up 6-man on the pay-per-view, and then we get the fucking coffin match on the TV show.
Yep. This wrong match went on the TV show.
This would be like literally like Roman facing Danhausen in the main event of WrestleMania, and then on Monday Night Raw he faces CM Punk. This is just stupid. It's fucking.
But apparently Roddy Strong and Orange Cassidy are now a tag team, which again, mistake. But hey ho, I mean, you look at the tag team division in AEW at the moment, the men's tag team division. And it's probably the only one that's really suffering at the minute. They don't really have many big tag teams that are coming through. I don't think Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy are the answer. It's not a bad kind of fill-in, but I genuinely think
like as well, Dave.
I agree. But at least like with AEW, when you look at the tag team division over the past couple of years, they've actually done really well. But now, I think that's the one area that they're trying to build back up again. Having Roddy Strong and Orange Cassidy, like I said, not the answer, but it's not a bad show for a team to put in there against the likes of the Young Bucks or FTR. Yeah. At least they're worthy opponents, not just something that's thrown together the two jobbers type of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's two names.
WWE, is he? Dave Finlay. Is Dave Finlay going to WWE?
No, he's in AEW now. He's part of the War Dogs, isn't he? Or the Dogs.
I heard he was supposed to go to WWE.
No, he turned WWE down because AEW has the connection with New Japan, which he just left. So he knows a lot of the guys from New Japan and a lot of the guys in AEW that he's worked with before. So he felt more comfortable going to AEW's main roster rather than WWE's NXT. Which would have been good because obviously his brother's in NXT
and his dad,
and his dad's obviously a trainer. But him in that stable with Lexus King, I have a feeling he thought if I go there with my brother, they're going to put us in a bloody tag team. Do you know what I mean? There was
one of the best stories on NXT. It's brilliant. I love it. Absolutely. Every week.
Regal's son looks like Gene Wilder's bastard son. I'm not going to lie.
But
he looks deadly. He looks deadly, man. And you know what? I feel really good for him because there was a really slim window where he was going to be released a few years ago. because they had nothing for him in NXT. And to see him still there and now get a bit of momentum now, because he came up during do you remember the Joe Hendry stuff that was happening last year and the year before? And he was kind of just in the background then, close to being released, and now he's back up on the roster. He's getting featured on television. I'm delighted for him. I think he's great.
And it's like NXT is the best show weekly, I think, in my opinion. And basically, that storyline is fantastic. And the way they built it up until now, and to see the two dads appear last week, I'm actually buzzing for NXT tomorrow. We'll talk about that tomorrow, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just make sure you send me the video so I can
I don't think we're big enough WWE here either. At times we've spoken we've had a number of tough months in terms of WWE as well, and the thing about it is it's still very different conversations, because I often say at times as well that it's like chalk and cheese. It's like comparing hurling to Gaelic, to be honest. When you talk about AEW and talk about WWE, it's two very, very different things and stuff like that. Both very, very enjoyable at times as well. But I think it just disappoints me in AEW, just the way they do things and the control that's in there and the creative and just not seeing it. Just not seeing that. Like, if your marquee match is a Texas Death Match, you shouldn't be getting color throughout the card.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? It just devalues the Texas Death Match, and everything should build towards that. Everyone should be building towards that. But there's too many people at times in there. I don't know, either between creative or going into business for themselves or going, fuck you, so I don't care, I'm going to do whatever I want to do.
Hopefully they learn from it. They learn from it, Niall, because there's like we said, it's frustrating from a positive point of view. We want to see these guys do well. We want to see AEW succeed, because the more they can do overseas as well, this is where they'll be able to shoe WWE in the hole over the next few years. If they start, like I said, you compare AEW to 6 months ago to now, they've really gotten out of the fucking scourge of that CM Punk debacle from years ago. They've only managed to just get out of it now, and they're on a really good footing. If they're consistently putting PLEs or pay-per-views, whatever you want to call them, in Europe at the prices, no joke, all in this year is cheaper than I had it 2 years ago. It's £72 for the same ticket I bought 2 years ago, where it was £85 then. And I haven't bought mine yet. Obviously, I've not been paid yet. I need to get it when I get paid. But the two Seans on the show have already gotten their tickets. They're on their way to All In. I'll be getting mine at the end of the month. The fact that you can go to Wembley Stadium and a Mania caliber event. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people will be saying, oh, it's not a Mania caliber event. I've been to the first two, and I'll tell you something. It wasn't far off with the presentation, the matches, the size of the crowd that was there. You're talking 70,000 odd people. It was amazing. And this is a Mania level event that you can go to for 72 quid. If they can consistently do this in Europe and have one in Manchester, have one in Dublin, have one in Italy or wherever, even do a yearly one in Japan and actually call it Forbidden Door and do it right, not just Door. They could really hurt WWE on the international stage, not necessarily the American one. They don't have to solely focus on that, because they'll never really reach WWE on the American level. They just won't. But if they do it on an international level, it might hurt them from a pay-per-view standpoint.
All right.
I just think very much, broadly speaking, there's a separation there, and I think there's a middle ground in there that you can try and control and change and maybe win over and stuff like that. But I think literally you have both sets of fans in there. You've got WWE fans who you'll find it very difficult to change, who have gone through really, really bad times in wrestling, really, really good times in wrestling, and just stick with it. Likewise, you've got the upstarts and the AEW fan base over here who want to see guys on the indie scene do really, really well, and guys who want to become big things, and AEW to become a big thing and stuff like that. But I think honestly, even if AEW, I don't necessarily, I think in terms of, I compare it sometimes when I used to watch Ring of Honor and stuff like that. I used to watch WWE for some of the wrestling, but mainly the entertainment and the presentation and stuff like that. And if I just wanted to watch a really good wrestling match, I would tune into Ring of Honor. If you look at 2004 or 2002 up till that period now was an absolute purple patch for Ring of Honor. Likewise with TNA, I used to love watching TNA because it was 6-sided ring, is innovative and all, and you got the lockdown pay-per-views. You got the Ultimate X and the X division and all, very innovative
matches with the 2 cables across.
Yeah, and all that kind of stuff. So it was really, really cool as well. So they did different things. But I always seen it as an alternative. I didn't ever view it as, now I'm a TNA guy, fuck the Fed kind of thing. You know what I mean? I just think there's 3 groups there. You got the middle group that kind of dips between both, and a lot of other wrestling as well. And then you've got staunch WWE guys who wear it on their shirt, and then you've got staunch AEW guys who wear it on their shirt. And you're not generally going to change them, you know. And I just think that's the way it's going to be and stuff like that. But I just think, certainly, I think, as Anto said, I think both can do a much better job.
Tribalism is a lot of balls. It shouldn't happen. Come here, I tell you. I'm a football fan, as an example, right? I can comment on AEW. I can comment on Ring of Honor. I don't have to necessarily watch the full show or anything like that. I don't have to do it when it comes to them. That doesn't mean I'm not a wrestling fan. Likewise, it's the same with football. There shouldn't be any such thing as tribalism. Dave likes AEW. He's the AEW guy. I'm the WWE guy.
But I love WWE as well. Like
exactly, and I love to hear AEW do well. I love to hear it. I'm also there to shit on it as well whenever I can. But I do love to hear it doing well. Tribalism.
Well, look, you're the Fed guy.
You're damn right.
I think tribalism in this situation is key to their success. I think the more tribalism you have, the better it becomes, stuff like, because it ratchets stuff up. Like if you look at MJF, over the last 2.5 years. When have we enjoyed them the most? When he's having a pop. Or he's dropping little innuendos and stuff like that and all. And when you get that wave of people behind. Yeah, no, just when he brings up little things and stuff like that. And we know he's buddies with all these guys. Let's be honest and stuff like that. And all, you know?
Do you remember when he told Tony can't fire him?
Yeah. But MJF will be the first to tell you that tribalism sucks. I understand what you're saying, and I think we might be getting our wires crossed in the terms of types of tribalism. I'm talking about the toxic kind. I'm talking about me turning around to Dave saying, "Can't believe you watch AEW, you big tick, you." Wrong, absolutely wrong. And you get that, and you see that online. Oh, I see you're watching the WWE. You're a mark. Yeah, I'm a fucking mark. So what? Fuck you too. All that stuff.
Up the tribalism.
I will batter anybody. Sorry for course.
I agree, Acers. AEW and Aviva Stadium would be complete sellout. I agree. That would be. See if we got AEW in the Aviva all day long.
What do you say?
I'm just thinking the guy who's been dying on hills for the last 6 months is the guy who's getting rid of tribalism. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any like you have been literally dying on hills for 6 months over wrestlers. And you're talking about tribalism. Anytime we mention Cody Rhodes on this podcast, you literally come through the screen at us.
That's true, actually. Yeah, you are a Cody Rhodes.
You are probably the most tribal guy on this podcast.
Hey, it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. Like the fact that WWE doesn't make sense, does it?
Between hold on, Brent. Between licking your sandals and deep throating your dry rolls, it's Cody Rhodes.
Of course I'm a Cody guy, and I wouldn't hear a bad word about Cody because, like that. It's funny you brought up the Stardust thing earlier on. I seen that. That was a cool graphic, by the way. Love it. But when he was tagging with Bob Holly, I said that's a future main eventer, and I was damn right, and he is today. Anyway,
that's your favorite hill. That's your favorite hill, Bram.
When he was tagging with Bob Holly, you said he was a future main eventer. You are a spoofer.
I promise you.
In the words of the great Bertie Ahern, Bran. In the words of the great Bertie Ahern, you're a waffler. No, you're a waffler. That's all you're doing. You're a waffler.
You just turned around and said you're a Cody guy and you're trying to kill off tribalism. What are you talking about here?
Stop your waffler.
I'm a fan of Cody. I don't mind having debates about it. But just because I'm a fan of Cody is the point I'm making. It doesn't mean I can't look over at MJF and say what MJF is doing is golden. Because when I do watch the little bits of AEW I watch Tony Storm and I watch MJF, and that's the power of them two. Unfreaking believable.
Count Cody, can we get rid of this guy? Because all he's doing is waffling.
You're a
waffler. All you do is come in here and waffle.
Oh, tell him the truth.
Right, Keith.
Here we go. Keith, take this one over.
This was Keith's topic. Keith
is Bobby Heenan on this? Is Bobby Heenan on this?
Left side in the middle.
Easy.
Keith, by the way, I have to say, if anyone interacts with Keith on WhatsApp, he's the most mannerly guy on WhatsApp. He always his messages to me always start with, "May I ask you a question?" Very nice, Keith. Of course you can. Go ahead.
Hi guys.
Hi guys.
What a man.
Hi guys.
No, the reason I brought this up is because I was watching Paul Bear's documentary the other day, and if nobody's watched it, it's fantastic. It's great.
Where'd you find it? Because we don't have the network anymore.
YouTube. I watched it anyways, but when I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, like, there's a lot of wrestlers that he managed that a lot of people don't know that he actually influenced. So the likes of Lex Luger, a very young Lex Luger. Yeah, and also what was it, Rick Rude and all that, and also Mankind, and also the main two that we know is Kane and Taker. So he without Paul Bear, there wouldn't be Kane or anything like that. So I was thinking, like, what other managers have, set the stone and made the wrestling business the way it is today? Like, so that's why I wanted to chat about this.
It's a great topic, Keith. Like, I mean, if you look at Paul Heyman, what's the tribal chief without Paul Heyman? Would the bloodline be as big? Brock Lesnar, Bobby Heenan. You just have to look. You just have to look at some of the tag teams he managed. Unbelievable. Yeah, look, managers are great. I think it's a lost art. I think when Bobby Heenan went to XWF, Niall, I bought that DVD in your shop, the XWF DVD. I think you had it there. And basically, Bobby Heenan walks in and he's like, what you mean, manager? I'm an agent now. Managers are so 80s or whatever. So,
but Brian, I think they need to bring back managers because they set the tone for the wrestling business, to be quite honest with you, and it's a loss.
Not like they used to. There's not many people out there that could do it, and it's funny.
JBL would be great at it.
Keith, I agree with you. And you know what the horrible thing is? If Adam Pearce wasn't a GM, I'd say he'd be a fucking cracking manager.
I think JBL would be great as well. He'd be a great heel manager.
Adam Pearce, JBL won't come back. I think he's run his race, but. I mean, if you look at Adam Pearce, he's a GM at the moment, but if somebody took him on as a manager, I'd say he'd be whopper.
Could be, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Niall, you can give me a name here. See, fourth row down, second from the left. He was Chris Canyon's manager. I can't remember his fucking name.
Second
from the left.
1, 2, 3, 4 down.
After Paul Bear, he's to the right of Paul Bear, in between Paul Bear and
No, that's Troy Madden. It was at his karaoke.
Sinister. It's the Sinister, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sinister James Mitchell.
James Mitchell. He was a business manager in TNA.
This guy.
I genuinely think I couldn't think of his name, but I genuinely think he's so underrated in wrestling history as a manager.
I was at his karaoke night. I was at his karaoke night when we were over at the Royal Rumble. He does a karaoke night every Monday night in I think either Monday or Thursday nights in Orlando. In one of the British, one of the old school British bars. Yeah.
Well, if you watch what he did for Chris Kanyon, if you watch Chris Canyon's Dark Side of the Ring, I know somebody brought it up in the comments about Niall not doing Dark Side of the Ring anymore.
Because it's not on.
I don't know. It's season 7's coming out at some point next year. But if you watch his Dark Side of the Ring, Chris Canyon's very sad. What he went through, but this guy, the stuff he done for this guy, my God, like. As a manager, you think it just goes on in the ring and all that stuff. It really doesn't. Backstage, these managers do so much more for the talent than just beside the ring. You talk about Percy Pringle there, or Paul Bear, what he done for Ken, The Undertaker on the road and stuff. You look at Captain Lou was one of my favorite managers of all time, Captain Lou Albano. Brilliant. Honestly, I've watched back so much of his stuff. And it's about what these guys do on the road for the talent as well. That just impresses me more so what they do in the ring. If I'm honest with you,
Dave, you said to me, "Why is Terry Reynolds there?" I think the reason she's there is because she helped Goldust an awful lot when he first started.
And Meat, she was also Meat's manager.
I genuinely don't think she's had enough impact to be in this graphic. That's just me. That's my opinion. I don't think she's enough to be there. To be honest with you.
Oh no, Reggie, that's Unibomber. Kane was Unibomber.
Isaac Yankum. DDS.
But you know, when you even think about the likes of Sherry on there and what she did for Macho,
there's no Shawn Michaels without Sherry Martel.
Miss Elizabeth, of course. You know what I mean? There's some cracking ones, Corny, of course, and stuff and all. You know, so
there's one that's not there.
Unbelievable.
There's one that's not there. It just popped into my head. Is Woman there?
She is. Is that now her down bottom left corner?
Bottom left, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Apologies. Yes, that is her. Apologies.
She's
Take
there.
back.
She's there.
Well, then what about Melina? Should she be there, really?
Well, she managed Eminem, no?
As a manager, yeah. But like, I mean, it's this is just a graphic that I pulled. I didn't construct it or anything like that. You know, for me, for one that I love, obviously, Paul with the road where he's slick for me was incredible. You know what I mean? Like,
Mr. Fuji, absolutely.
Mr. Fuji.
The Grand Wizard of wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Keith, I'll agree with you. Corny Balls is an important one there. I'm not going to discourage
JJ Dillon and there, classy Freddie Blassie.
JJ Baby Dillon.
Well, he helped Yokozuna as well. So like, he's one of the best of all time.
Geeks.
Yeah.
Sonny, although she's there, I agree.
Yeah.
She done it with LOD, Chris Candido, so much. She
LOD 2000.
I'm sorry, but their comeback at WrestleMania 14 had me popping. See when they came out in the tag team battle royal, when they won it, when they came out with the helmets and the hockey gear on, fucking brilliant. Oh man, I love that. I love that outfit.
All right, Reggie, take it easy. I get some things wrong.
Kane, not Uniform.
You're wrong, Brad. You're wrong. You big Egypt.
Vicky Guerrero.
But even like Armada Estrada there, who managed Umaga, was just.
He was great.
Like he was brilliant. Like, you know what I mean, and just
Armando Estrada.
So good. Yeah.
And Lonnie Poffo. Let's not forget Lonnie Poffo.
Lonnie, yeah.
Niall loves the Genius. Actually, Niall educated me on the Genius in HQ about 4 years ago. Actually, I still remember that day.
Pity they don't have managers anymore because they're just so pivot to the wrestling business, you know.
Now that you bring it up, Keith, like, yeah, I agree with you. Like,
Jimmy Hart, of course.
Who was the writer of the themes before Jim Johnston?
Yeah,
he wrote Sexy Boy.
Yeah, he wrote a lot of them before Jim Johnston even came along.
Yeah, no, there's some really interesting ones, you know.
Yeah,
it's like when we talk about tag team wrestling, it's kind of a lost art, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I miss it so much in a proper capacity. Like, I really do. Not gonna lie. What a show this has been! It's been our longest show in years since I joined that.
Then groundbreaking as Marlena, yeah. Also with the Hardys later, etc. She's got more right.
Do you know what? You've turned me around on Terry Runnels. I forgot about Marlena. Fuck me. Well done, Ribshot. Never mind. I take it back.
Yeah. Spot on.
Before you go into the history, Noel. Before you go into the history, is there anything about Jake the Snake Roberts in history? I don't want to spoil it. I'll just say it anyway. Jake the Snake Roberts is approaching 14 years being sober.
Congratulations.
What a man. What an inspiration to come from where he came from and to be nearly 14 years. And I think on the day, when I find out today, I'll do a quick short for the channel, but genuine inspiration. 14 years sober as Jake the Snake.
And his documentary was brilliant as well.
The resurrection of Jake the Snake is phenomenal. Yeah. Imagine that. So it was just in case I didn't want to steal your history.
And it's interesting you say that as well, because like I told you earlier, I was watching the Raven documentary today, the Nevermore One, the Raven Effect, and there's so much this really good, but there's so much like I'm a huge Raven fan anyway, but so much conversation in that about, you know, people who we've lost, wrestlers who we've lost and stuff like that and all, and they were talking about in that, you know, that 96 to 2000 and how they lost so many of their friends and colleagues and all, and, you know, that whole pain pills and stuff like that was rampant and stuff, you know. So, yeah, absolutely. Jake the Snake Roberts, I mean, if you think about it, like if you went back 15, 20 years ago, you wouldn't have thought Jake would be still with us, would you? Amazing. So, great story.
God bless DDP. God bless
so DDP. Proud to be a fan. So proud to be a fan.
Yeah. Right, let's get into history then. 1994 in Munich, Germany, Mick Foley wrestling as Cactus Jack famously loses an ear during a match with Big Van Vader. If you're squeamish, move straight on to the next entry, as they say.
Yes.
2019, OTT Scrapomania 5 was held in Dublin, Ireland. Pete Dunne
I was there
and
for
Mustache Mountain, Trent Seven and Tyler Bate beat the Kings of the North, Bonesaw, Damien Corvin and Duncan Disorderly in a six-man OTT Tag Team Championship match. As a result of the win, Mustache Mountain became tag champions, but not Dunne. And in the main event, of course, Jordan Devlin on his birthday beat Walter, aka Gunther, to become the new OTT World Champion.
Huge moment that was.
Massive show. 2000, one of the most acclaimed wrestling documentaries of all time, Beyond the Mat, of course, was released nationwide in cinemas in the USA. The film, directed by Barry Blaustein, of course, takes a look at the inner workings of professional wrestling and kind of was a killer for kayfabe, really, and stuff like that. But great documentary, still stands up to today. 2002, WrestleMania 18 took place in front of 68,237 fans at the Sky Dome in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. This was the last WrestleMania to take place under the WWF branding. The company changed their name to WWE later that year, and of course, what an event! Hogan, Rock, and everything else. Amazing.
Which was also 7 hours long, by the way.
Yeah, that was great. It was fantastic. 2021, in the main event of St. Patrick's Day Slam edition of AEW Dynamite, Thunder Rosa defeated Britt Baker in a brutal lights out match. Put it in there for you, Dave, the week that's in it. And of course, 2002, the night after WrestleMania 18, WWF Monday Night Raw was in Montreal, Quebec. The show is most famous for the debut of Brock Lesnar interfering in a hardcore match between Maven and Al Snow. And he absolutely did a number on them, to say the least. Notable birthdays: 1990, Jordan Devlin, J.D. McDonough.
Yes.
1964, Henry Godwin, Mark Henry Godwin, Canterbury. 1987, Brody King. 1979, Samoa Joe. 1975, Test. 1967, Billy Corgan. 1956, the model Rick Martel. 1987, AJ Lee. 1962, Jimmy Corderas. Check out his stuff on YouTube as well. It's very, very good. And 1983, one Evan Bourne, but Ring of Honor would know him as Matt Sydal. They're your notable birthdays for this week and your history.
Deadly.
There we go, folks.
Anyone else enjoy CM Punk's nod to Samoa Joe on Raw before we go off?
We did.
Class that was.
Yeah.
Niall, do you know next to Paul Bear there on the left, who is that guy? I can't even make it out who it is. This fellow with
that's
Whipwreck.
Mikey Whipwreck.
Yeah, Mikey
Whipwreck. Right, look at the Fed guy getting the ECW guy, getting the TNA guy.
That's because you own all the rights, you big muppet.
You're not wrong.
So yeah, absolutely. Just taking a few comments here. Great show, lads, as always. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Gonna hit the hay. Enjoy in. I'll talk to you soon. Dave Kelly in. Randy didn't turn heel. He said to Cody, it should have been him. It should have been Drew. Randy is so locked in for Mania. I was right, Bren, when I said it built up from last year. Absolutely. Well done, Jake. Congratulations. Nice one, Bren, pointing it out. Yeah, solid. Good birthday shouts, Niall. Cheers, Dave. Appreciate it, pal. I do my best in that area. 28 years ago today marks WCW Monday Nitro from Club in Panama City Beach in main event. Sting and Lex Luger versus Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and Sting entrance in a helicopter.
I remember that. Well, I remember watching that.
There we go. Right, folks, that's it. Another show in the bag. Just barely under the 2 hours. It was a long one tonight, but a very, very good chat all the same. Pleasure as always sharing the screen with these guys. If you could, like, subscribe, and share the content, we'd appreciate it. The subs are coming in on a daily basis now at this stage, which is really great to see. But the watch hours is where the business is at the moment. So if you could, help us out in that way as well. We'll talk to you again real soon. Cheers, lads.
Goodbye. God bless.
Au revoir.